We've had a little fun with the Price is Right parodies, and eventually there's one more I'll add. For now, I'd like to round off this series with some comments on a specific tool of textual criticism, something called conjectural emendation.
Conjectural emendation? Hey, watch your language. There could be kids watching this.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You can go now. Getting back to our study, what exactly is conjectural emendation? We can best show what it is by way of example. In one of the works of the Roman poet Ovid, there's a line that says the following. The thing is that this is a restoration of what Ovid is thought to have written. If we went by textual evidence alone, this is what we would have thought Ovid would have written. The restoration is what we call a conjectural emendation, meaning a deduction of what Ovid wrote based on circumstantial evidence. Here's why that was guessed at. Many copies of Ovid have him say throughout heaven instead of all of heaven, but all of has been restored as the correct reading. A textual critic of Ovid provided the reason for this deduction. Because the speaker is a human and not a bird, it would be impossible for him to complain throughout heaven, but he would certainly be able to complain and abuse all of heaven. And so the logical assumption is that early scribes mistakenly changed the word, which differs in Latin in just one letter, as seen here. So what's the point of all this? The point is to show that this is how textual criticism really works. It's not a gimmick, and it's not an excuse, as I've found some critics like to say. The best illustration of how absurd this can get is shown by one popular claim of biblical contradiction, although this one is in the Old Testament, not the New Testament. Take these two passages. Which is correct, 40,000 stalls or 4,000? Textual critics have determined that 4,000 is correct, and that 1 Kings with this claim of 40,000 was distorted by a copyist error, so that both were originally written as 4,000. 4 reasons are given for this conjectural emendation. The first is the reading in 2 Chronicles, which probably used 1 Kings as a source. Second, archaeological data indicates that 4,000 would be an appropriate number of stalls for a nation the size of ancient Israel to have, whereas 40,000 would be quite excessive. Third, 4,000 comports better with the number of horsemen. And finally, there's a sufficient explanation for the change. The spelling of 40 differs from the spelling of 4 only in the ending. Compare this now with one critic's commentary I saw in a Fundy Atheist newsletter, when someone else, another atheist actually, pointed out the high probability of a copyist error in this instance. This turns out to be a good lesson in the sort of mistakes made by critics because they don't understand textual criticism. That'll conclude our series on the text of the New Testament, for now. As I said, I'll have another parody to add later, one which will star this guy. Oh yeah, the KJV onlyists don't like textual criticism very much either. See you next time.